Hey guys, welcome to a Beastworm video. Today I'm going to be talking about my first impressions of Robo Bear, and to kind of get my thoughts over his functions and stuff that works with him, it doesn't work, and my general thoughts over the new feature. So I want to first talk about the positives of Robo Bear because there are a lot of them. And firstly, the first positive is just how padded out the playtime for Robo Bear actually is, because it'll take you about an hour and a half to get to level 25, which I really think Beastworm needs for its playtime and stuff, considering how many things are just controlled by playtime, like planters, macro, and I think that really will help out, just put in the gaps and actually make players be proactive during Beastmas, which I always think is the best way to make Beastworm, is the best way to play Beastworm, is through just constantly doing tasks. And I think Robo Bear really excels at that. And secondly, I really appreciate the design of Robo Bear in itself, but like the mechanics I think are really nice addition of where how it's like a rogue type game, and where you get more materials as you progress, like in this case it's the cogs, and you get more powerful and powerful, but it gets more harder. And I really like that, because as an end game player it can be like really trivial to like go back to where you once were of a new basically, and just work your way up again, which I think is really cool. And mentioning that, I think is a really great segue to list another positive, being the early progression of the quests of pollen collection and stuff like that. I think is really nice, compensating the challenge of the enemies as well as just the actual pollen collection itself is really nice progression. And to go on to the negatives, I personally think there's a lot, but with testing and tweaks, obviously, they're gonna improve. And firstly, the exponential requirements for each level, like starting at like a level 9, is just way too much, because you don't have much buffs during the beginning of the rounds, and you don't get much cogs either from each round, and you only can buy around 1 to 2 upgrades max per time, and sometimes you can't even get the upgrades you want, and re-rolling is quite expensive as well. So it's a trade-off basically, where you can get an upgrade or re-roll for the same exact price, which I don't think is fair. I think a re-roll should start at 4 cogs, maybe 3 cogs, and then go to 7 cogs, because sometimes you can get completely screwed over with the upgrades. And this is even worse when there's a blue quest you have to take, and there are no upgrades you can upgrade to actually help you out with it. And I think that's a big issue for even getting close to round 25. So that's one of the negatives I have, but obviously with tweaking and balancing on it, will patch and fix a lot of these balance issues. But secondly, I think the enemy spawn rate for the spawning enemies in the Robo challenge is just way too high, in my opinion. I think a good way to compromise for the increased enemy spawn is to have, for like the first minute of the challenge, is to have no spawns at all, so the player can get to where they need to and start like a chain going of abilities and stuff, so they can actually fight against the onslaught of just infinite monsters that come from this event, and to actually have a chance to kill them, considering you have limited bees, limited time, and ridiculous health on those things. And it was really frustrating for me to do that, because it was honestly out of my control of what the enemies spawned. And if I felt like there was a indicator of what spawned next, it would be much better and more fair with the player. And that's pretty much it about Robo Bear. And obviously it's in early testing as this video comes out, but I think it has a lot of potential and it needs improvement. So I just wanted to give my first thoughts on it, and that'll all do for this video. And so yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.